Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to see you.
Likewise, likewise. Still, keeping you in prayer and condolences for the loss. I think was it your
Grandson.
grandson? Yeah,
Last
yeah.
July 4th of last year.
Exactly. So now, I mean, not only have you been in the fight against violence and gun violence and what happens in our community, but you're also now among those who've lost loved ones in this struggle. Tell me, what has the last year been like for you as you've had that experience, but also looking at what's happening in the DMV.
Well, for the last year, since my 11-year-old grandson have been murdered, uh, it's been very busy. Not just doing the things that we normally do as guardian angels, but then again, it is the same thing. It just seemed like it, more people have been coming out and asking for our help, especially when their loved ones are being murdered. Uh, we've had so many young people murdered since last year, and not just young people, but we got women being murdered left and right too. I don't recall women being murdered this much since, I ain't gonna say the 90s. I don't know. It's been a long time, but every time you turn around, you see it. But what we've been doing, I tell you, Davon mother, her name is Crystal McNeil. She started a Davon Thomas Foundation, and what they would do, and we would go out and help them, is just go into the communities and start feeding the homeless people, talking to the people that's out there that's homeless, to give them ear, going and talk to other mothers that have lost their children in the streets of DC, and just trying to give them some support, because that support is needed when you lose a loved one. If you have never lost a loved one before, you don't know the pain until it happens, and you're just in pain all day, every day, wondering why this would happen to this person.
And I want to just kind of highlight the fact that Stuart Anderson, who you've worked with closely and who I've worked with, just lost his grandson as well, or granddaughter, I should say, lost his granddaughter. And so, we always talk about moms, but, their grandparents, their fathers, they all suffer the same pain that you're talking about. And I don't want to leave them out of this conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Stuart, he's the one that's always in the community. I was actually out of town when that happened, came back. I wanted to meet with him. I never got a chance to. I'm going to still reach out to him. But we talked on the phone, and you could hear the pain in his voice. He explained to me what he believed happened. And, men, we need the support just as the mothers, because we feel the pain just like everyone else, especially when you're a community activist and you're going out there, as I've been doing since 1989 in Washington, D.C. I mean, I was a baby. I was doing it at the age of 19, and people couldn't believe why I was out there doing this at that age. But I wanted to make a difference in the community. I wanted to get young people involved in doing something positive, because around 89, I was coming out of the crack cocaine era, and we still had a lot of violence going on. And my key was, if we could get young people involved in the Guardian Angel and teach them to give back to the community and try a different way in fighting crime instead of becoming criminals, we could save a lot of young people. And that's what I'm still doing to this day, still trying to save the young people by getting more young people involved in our organization and getting out, fighting crime, meeting with parents that have lost loved ones, going in communities and doing community walks and cookouts and things of that nature. But just getting young people involved. You got to get them involved, because when you don't get them involved, then negativity gonna get their attention, and that's when they wind up doing things that we don't want them to do in the community.
So tell us what the Guardian Angels are doing. I mean, you talked about feeding the homeless, and I think that's incredible. That's fantastic that you're doing that. But what is some of the work that you're doing with the young people, and why should they want to get involved with the Guardian Angels, other than the fact that you all have really cool hats?
Yes, we do, especially the ones with the pins on them. But we want people to get involved. We try to recruit them 16 and up. And some people say 16, that's kind of young. Well, I've been doing this since the age of 14. And when you get involved in an organization such as ours and you learning to do positive things, you're not going to get caught up in the negativity. You're not going to want to go out and smoke the marijuana and then go out and start robbing people and start carjacking, because you now know you are part of the solution. And that's our goal, to get them to become part of the solution by getting involved in us. Now, what do we do besides feeding the homeless? Like you said, we actually go out on the subway, and we'll go out five to seven people, and we will ride the trains. Just ride them. One angel in a car, just being a visual deterrent. Get off the trains, walk the platform, and if we see a altercation, someone being jumped, we are ones that actually are going to go in, pull people off, and try to talk to them and send them the other way. Because as you know, nowadays, that because we have cameras now, nobody want to jump in and help. They just want to film. This is my time to get my shine on YouTube, on the World Star, and that's what they're doing. But with us, we're like, no, it's not about that. We want to get these people to pull apart, go their way, because the next step, if you don't pull them away, somebody pulling out a blade, they stabbing someone, somebody may pull out a gun. We actually saw that on Anacostia probably about 3 months ago. Guy walked up to someone, gave him a hug, a kiss, and then he shot him right in the face right during the day on the Anacostia platform. This is ridiculous, in front of a whole bunch of people. So we want to be the ones to say, look, we're going to intervene, we're going to pull people apart, and we're going to report crimes. We want to be the leaders of reporting crime, because as you know, the campaign that is out is snitches get stitches. And the reason why criminals put that campaign out, so they can come out and murder people and rob people in broad daylight and know nobody's going to speak up. You know, we have to stop putting locks on the doors, pulling down the shades, and hiding behind and saying we didn't see anything. So, the crime is committed. We need to report it.
In many cases, you know, we find that the perpetrators and the victims often know each other. You know, these aren't, I mean, it's unfortunately when we have the drive-bys, like with the 6-year-old that was killed over on Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I mean, she was not an intended target, we don't believe. But it appears as though maybe her father or someone that was out there with her was the intended target, and that they may have known each other. So what are these beefs about? What is it that people are so, I mean, have you been able to kind of, put a finger on any of the things that get folks so angry to the point that they want to take somebody's life?
Well, you know, a lot of it is neighborhood beefs, and some of these beefs, people don't even know why they're fighting. They, you know, it's probably their fathers. But the ones
still doing that stuff, I thought
it's absolutely ridiculous.
You know, but whatever. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but some of the ones that do know nowadays, as I said, they don't report the crime. They believe in street justice. So when a crime is committed or a murder, and a person knows, they're not going and saying, you know what, I'm going to report it to the police. We're going to get our boys together and we're going to take care of this. And that continues the beef back and forth. One neighborhood takes the life of somebody in another one neighborhood, then they're going to retaliate and come back and forth. I'm going to admit, when this happened with my grandson last year, and people know I'm a crime fighter. They know I'm out here to stop crime. And do you believe people came to me and said, hey, we can find out who did it. You want us to take care of that? Absolutely not. If you can find out who did it, you need to let me know so I can turn the information to MPD. Now, luckily, the guys that murdered my grandson, they're locked up, all 4 of them at this time, which is great. They haven't went to trial yet because of COVID. But the thing is, the mindset of people nowadays is street justice. And that's something we have to get the mindsets to change. And we got to get the adults that know what's going on, because adults know too. Why are you not reporting it? Why are you allowing these young people, and all of them not young, because when I say all of them not young, 20 and up is not young. The guy that shot the young girl, the 6-year-old, he was 20 years old. Other adults knew who he was. You know, we need to start reporting this crime, and y'all need to start talking to them and telling them, you know, this is not the way to go. You're destroying DC. get these illegal guns off the streets, and hopefully crime can go down, because police cannot do it by itself. It takes the whole village. We have to talk. We have to let people know. We have to, people that are having issues that think they want to go out and hurt someone, if you know about it, if you don't want to report it, you need to take that young man, take him out fishing somewhere and talk to him and change his mindset and explain to him, if you do this, your life is going to be gone too. Either you're going to be murdered or you're going to jail. Do you have a 2-year-old child? Do you want that child to see you once that child become an adult? We have to talk to these people that are causing these problems to try to change their mindset.
So that's where I wanted to go, because you said we have to talk to these people. And in the case of, your grandson, 4 of them are locked up. And others, the ones, who's talking to them, right? The perpetrators who have gone through the criminal justice system. We know the lawyers are talking to them. We know the judge is talking to them. We know the bailiff, all those people, whoever, the prison guards talking to them. But who's really talking? Who's talking to them to give them a voice? Maybe even to talk to the people in the community now who are trying to, still protect them. How do we? Maybe we don't want to hear their voices, but it sounds like they have answers to some of the questions we keep asking, or that I'm asking. Is there anybody that's talking to them?
I really don't know, but I think that is an issue. When you go to jail, as people always know, you become a better criminal. You want to make yourself more hardcore because of where you are. The guards don't really care about you. They just there to do a job, and that's it. Right. You might have little conversation, but it's not nothing to get into their brain to set them on that right path. That question is a good question, because we need to have somebody in the jail system that can, if they notice people that cause any kind of crime, bring them to our office once a week and just sit down and have a conversation with them and see if they can talk to them, what we call them, a therapist. And hopefully that therapist can help them in changing their mindset when they come back into the community. And I don't believe we have that right now in any of the jail system. And I could be wrong. I think another issue we have is also our prosecutors, and especially our judges. DC police, Conti and them, they're doing a great job. They out there, they are locking people up, they're closing cases. But the problem is when people are arrested, they are released back into our community in no time, usually faster than they're back in the community before the paperwork is done. And that's a big issue too, because if a person that is a career criminal or career murderer is let back into the community and he knows he's getting ready to go away for a long time, he's going to commit a lot more murders in the district before he is put away.
Wow. Now that's a powerful statement right there, John. Let me ask you, folks are interested in becoming a guardian angel. What do they need to do to get involved?
Well,
or to support you?
Yeah. Well, they easily just contact us. Remember, to become a guardian angel, you got to be 16 and above, male or female. Be able to put in some volunteer hours. We don't put in much now, like we used to, but you be able to put in volunteer hours and working with the community. And we would definitely need older people too, adults. I mean, I started at 19. I'm 52 years old now, and I started at 14. I've been doing it in DC since the age of 19. But we need all ages. And to get involved in the Guardian Angels, there's 2 ways. You can just give us a call, my personal cell phone, which is 202-359-0601, or they can go on to us on the email, DC guardianangels@gmail.com, or just look us up on, we have so many different social media out there. You see something came up on the board. Any of those, just come on and just say, hey, I am interested. How can I get involved? But you do have to realize you are a volunteer. We don't get paid. We're not like the violent interrupters. They get money. Yeah. Guardian Angels have never, ever received one brown penny from the District of Columbia to go out there and help fight crime and do what they do. And I've been out there a long time. You knew me, Denise, since I was one of the young ones. Before we started the peace walks, when they stopped it because they said it was too cold for Marion Barry to do his marches. You came out, me and you was out there. You knew me a long time. All that time, we never received any money from the government. Most of the funding we do, we get from ourselves. And I think that needs to change soon too. We need to start getting some money because we are out there. We've proven ourselves for years, and what we do work. What we do work.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. And, there's a lot of money floating around out there right now. So I would say, go ahead and put that application in somewhere. Start talking to folks because there's a lot of money floating around for people who can actually help to make our community safe. And you all have a track record of showing that. So it shouldn't be difficult, but, let us know how we can help.
If there's anybody out there that knows how to write that paper and help, hey, come see me because I don't know how to do it. I fight crime. I don't know how to do paperwork.
I got you. That's a great appeal. And hopefully folks will respond. John, I want to thank you so very, very much for being with us today and for all the work that you all do. Let the team know that we certainly do support or appreciate, what you all do on behalf of the community. And just keep up the great work and please stay safe.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.